at this early stage. I'm not too sure just yet, but how good do they look with the white shoelaces in? What? What? What are you telling me? Really? Really? Look. What? Hi there viewers, I'm the Extraordinary Tourist and welcome to my review of FP Footwear's Fino skateboarding shoes. I first saw these on the Braille skateboarding channel on YouTube where they made a video featuring the shoes. The shoes themselves feature their Fluid X non-Newtonian protection technology, which is basically a fluid that has special properties in that it's essentially a liquid, but as soon as you drop anything onto it or impact anything into it, it turns into a solid and absorbs all that impact. And from my understanding, FP Footwear's Fino shoes have an insole kind of insert in the bottom of the shoe that is filled with this kind of liquid, and any kinds of impact on the shoe causes the liquid to harden up, and reducing up to 90% of impact energy, at least that's what they claim. Seeing that on the Braille channel, that was enough for me to sort of think these might be the shoes for me. Being an older skater at age 47, I have a lot of trouble with getting bruised feet and knees from impacts just from ollieing on my skateboard, as it turns out. I'm not exactly that light on my feet when I'm doing ollies half the time, so I tend to feel them quite a bit. So I thought shoes that can absorb up to 90% of that impact would probably be a really good thing for my feet. So naturally I went out and ordered a pair, and I've now been skating them for a couple of days, so I thought I'd give you a review on my findings and what I thought. My initial first impression of the shoes when I unboxed them was that they look pretty much like your typical vulcanized skate shoe, but from what I understand, the soles on the Fino shoes are more of a cup style sole that the Fluid X insert actually sits inside. One thing I did notice was I'm not actually a big fan of the black laces on the shoe. I actually prefer white laces, so I did actually buy myself a set of white laces and put those into the shoes. It has nothing to do with how they skate, it's just that running a skate or creating skate videos and posting pictures of skateboarding on Instagram, I seem to be taking a lot of photos of my feet riding skateboards, and white laces tend to show up in a photo much better than the black ones do. Putting the shoes on, like on the Braille channel, I noticed that some of the skaters felt that the shoes just in general felt different to wear than other shoes, perhaps a bit softer or whatever. Personally, when I put them on, I didn't find a lot of difference with how they felt. They perhaps felt a bit closer to the ground than other skate shoes that I've worn. But other than that, they didn't feel a lot different at all to me. Actually getting out and skating the shoes, the first session that I did was just in my driveway. It was like a 20-minute session that I did just before it got too dark to actually skate. And it was very much a warm-up session. The thing that struck me straight away skating around in them was that I could actually feel every single vibration from the driveway coming up through the wheels into the board and into the soles of my shoes. It was very distinct that I could feel every vibration. It was enough to sort of affect my feet, in that I was still feeling the sort of after effects of that the next day. And initially I thought that was going to be a problem, because it seemed like they weren't really doing anything in the way of the shock absorption that sort of being, which was the main feature of the shoes and as such. But on my next session the next day, I actually went around and skated out in my town over a whole bunch of different surfaces and different sort of roughness of terrain, and I skated for over a couple of hours, and I found I actually got used to the vibration in my feet to the point where I wasn't really noticing it anymore, and I didn't get that sort of after effect from the vibration that I had initially after the first session. So perhaps it's just something that you have to get used to on first wearing. But I will say that because of that vibration, if you're someone who really likes to feel the board under your feet, then these shoes are probably definitely for you. You definitely get that sensation of being able to feel your board right from the get-go. There's no sort of having to wear the soles in, get them sort of bendy and malleable so that you can start feeling your board. It's sort of right from the get-go, you can feel your board under your feet. In terms of the actual shock absorption, my skating is sort of intermediate at best, and that's being very generous. But having said that, after skating around for 2 hours, doing lots of volleys and even trying a few kickflips, I actually feel they did okay. I didn't end up with bruised feet at the end of my sessions. Normally, in any other shoes, I'd probably be feeling it in my feet after a session of about half an hour. I managed to skate around for 2 hours. I'd say the side of the shoes are fairly grippy, and you're not going to have any trouble with doing flip tricks on using these shoes. I did feel like the soles on them, like the underside of the sole, they do feel a little bit thin to me, despite the fact that they've got reasonably deep tread. They do still feel quite thin, and I feel they will probably wear through a lot quicker than other shoes that I've had. But I can't know that for sure, obviously, until I've really been skating them for a few months to find out. Beyond that, I was fairly happy with how they performed. Just to sort of summarise the things that I've said. Design wise, I think they look pretty good. I prefer them with the white laces. The soles themselves seem to do alright, absorbing shocks from just my sort of basic skating. The sides of the shoes felt really good for attempting things like kickflips and whatever. They sort of really grip the skateboard. After sort of skating in them for a couple of hours, they seemed to manage really well, and I didn't sort of end up with bruised feet or have any trouble with those initial vibrations that I felt when I first put them on and started skating around. So there you go, that's my review of FP Footwear's Fino shoes. If shock absorption is something that seems like you could really use in your skating, if you're someone who generally has problems with bruising their feet easily, or if you're doing sort of really out there tricks off of sort of massive gaps and off massive ledges and stuff, could be well worth checking these out and giving them a try. So that's my review. I hope you found it useful, and until next time, thanks for watching.